Get therapy.
I'm not ready.
Get therapy.
What's going on? WikiManiacs to another Wednesday live stream. I'm your host, Josh. Joined with me, my punny panoy, John. What's going on, buddy?
Happy Hump Day, WikiManiacs. It's July. Is Canada today or yesterday?
Canada was yesterday, John.
Well, happy belated Canada Day, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, I saw some fireworks yesterday, hung out with some friends in the evening. I had to work most of the rest of the day, but John had me working.
Excuse me.
He said no days off.
Excuse me. You don't say that publicly, but you know it's right.
Shout out to the patrons who are in the live chat because Patreon for some reason wouldn't let me go live there. So apologies for that. But welcome to the YouTube chat.
But I did say if you're a patron and you want to just chat, of course, the chat option is still open for you. We'll always look at that as well.
John will. I don't have that open.
I will. Good luck to me.
Shout out Fred for the $5. He says, "What's up, cheap snitches? Welcome back to Fred It on Wiki. This is my show now."
Fred, you're going to have to pay us for some franchising fees, all right? And all the emotional damage that you've been doing to Sean. That guy has been pressed for a long time of all the damage that you've been doing to his psyche. Fred, What are you doing, my friend?
But welcome to the Wednesday live stream where we read more Reddit stories. It's kind of our thing. Sean is at work today.
Of course.
RIP to our boy. We miss him.
We'll get him there soon. We'll get him there someday. Hopefully he sneaks out like last time and take a little poop break just to say hi to us.
Yeah, hopefully. Shout out to Emily who sends $5. Says, "Good afternoon, everyone. Won't be able to be on. Have a wonderful live, cuties." Wow, thank you very much. You.
Well, Emily, what Josh does after this is maybe in like a couple of hours he'll re-upload it. You'll have the opportunity to watch it over again. So don't fret.
Absolutely.
If you can't be here with us right now because of work and other priorities, you'll still have a chance to see it. So it'll be there.
Yes. So yeah, today we got some stories.
Oh yeah.
I didn't bring as anger-inducing stories as I did last time.
Good. Good.
They're not super happy, uplifting stories, but they're not like the most anger-inducing things you've ever heard.
All of mine are happy. I will say, and I will preface this WikiManiacs. I did tell the boys this earlier this week. If I seem low energy today, or if I'm not my usual happy, obnoxious, wild self, this time of the year is typically hard for your boy on a personal level. Tomorrow is going to be my dad's death anniversary. And, I typically feel some type of way during that time. So also, I'm a single dad for the next couple of days. So I miss my wife already. She's having fun in New York. So I'm also waiting for her text to make sure that she got off a safe flight. So just in case I'm a little down in the dumps today, just know the reason why. Life happens sometimes.
Absolutely. And that always comes first. So
yeah.
If you need to pop off to take care of Kevin, feel free to.
Speaking of Kevin, I was telling Josh this. I have my little pet camera for him right now because I do have to give him enrichment because that boy is crazy. It's his violent box. So basically, we just wrap a box full of tape as secure as possible. Fill it with treats, like wrapping paper. There's a ball inside there, and then each treat is wrapped inside something, so he still has to uncover it. He gets really frustrated. He'll get really pissed, play for it for like 2 hours, sleeps the rest of the day. So that's my plan. I just have it on camera in case there's choking hazards. Daddy's got to run and take care of my boy. So just heads up in case you see me bolting out.
I think we need to invest in a Kevin cam.
$25 tier? Shit, maybe.
Yeah, true.
He's crazy.
Shout out to Ash the Ass. Sends 5 Reddit on Wiki memberships on YouTube. So thank them in the chat. Actually, yeah. And then Midscore says, I figured out how to work the auto mod on Reddit, and the cross post will be saved in the comments, and it's actually pinned. Had to figure that out after the fact. Goat.
The goat does goat things. I told you. We said Midscore knows way better than us.
So for anyone who didn't know, we did it. I think it was on Monday's episode. We talked about potentially having it so that when you cross post a story onto our subreddit, it like because it gets deleted so often, having the story saved in the comments on our on the cross post would be super handy. So Midscore figured that out, and now we can read the stories even after they're deleted, which is super nice. So thank you for that, Midscore. We had a bunch of other stuff here. Give me 1 second. Shout out to Julia, sends $5, says, hey, from New Jersey. Love my boys. You guys are getting me through nursing school.
Oh, Julia, let's freaking go. What part of New Jersey are you from? I know like Parsippany area. I used to work there.
Give me your New Jersey accent, John.
Is it the same as New York?
No.
Is it the same? Is it the same? I don't know. They're like across the river together, right? There's a bridge. I'm not the accent guy. That's Sean.
I think you've pissed everyone off.
I'm sorry. Chopped cheese? Is that what y'all say?
I think comparing New Jersey and New York to each other is just already a recipe for disaster.
I'm from the West Coast, all right? Like, we don't deal with shit on the East.
He's a West Coast elitist, okay?
I'm from the West Coast. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, New Jersey.
Call me Joanne sends $2.69. It says for 2 J's from a fellow J. Hell yeah. Thank you for that. Team Ang 79 sends 69 pounds. Yes, that's what that one is. It says, condolences, John, heart, broken heart emoji. Fist bump for the 69. Team Ang.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for that donation. The blind therapist sends $5, says, hey boys, love the channel so much. I've been listening for almost a year and binged so many episodes multiple times. Love you guys.
Multiple times? Blind therapist. Are you okay?
You need a therapist.
It ain't us, because we're not.
Well, Sean could be your therapist. We'll let it happen.
Sean is great at everything he does.
Yeah. And then final one here before we get started from Lena. They send $5.99 and says,
probably graduated.
Graduated today from my 2-year job training. Oh man, trainings tip. I just wanted to say huge thanks for you getting me through this time. Heart emoji.
Thank you. Congratulations if this is graduation.
Yeah. If it's not, then congratulations for whatever.
Regardless. Yes.
But yeah, John, with all of that said, do you want to hop into the first story today?
Let's do it. I can start first.
You want to start?
All of mine are pretty there's good outcomes for mine.
Okay.
None are anger inducing at all. I think we'll see.
Okay. I appreciate that.
All right. So my first one is posted by ThrowRADI Matter 25, posted from r/relationship advice. The title is, my stepmother wrote a letter to my 18-year-old self when she married my father. How do I even begin to thank her?
Oh, I'm sorry. Chat was distracting.
I know the feeling, buddy.
I'm slowly turning into you and Sean.
I get the feeling.
Shit.
I'll say it again. Just one time for the chat.
Thank you.
My stepmother wrote a letter to my 18-year-old self when she married my father. How do I even begin to thank her?
Oh, okay. This sounds like a wholesome one.
Yeah. I don't think ADHD is contagious. We might just have it, all of us.
Maybe. I also like, there was a message directed right at me, so I was reading it. That's my bad.
Oh, God. All right. Story goes as this. My mother is not my biological mother, but I will be referring to her as my mother in this post because that's what she is to me. My bio mom passed away giving birth to me, and I was raised solely by my father for the first 3 years of my life until he met my mother. Also, just gotta, before we get thing again, because last time it got messed up, audio check. Do we sound okay to you guys?
Oh, yeah. Are we good?
Do we sound fine?
We should be. No one said anything yet.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. I won't be talking much about my father in this post. My father is amazing in every way, but this is about my mom. They got married months after my 6th birthday, and they have 4 more kids, or they have had 4 more kids. Stayed busy there. My mother always treated me like her own and never let me feel like an outsider or like a half sibling. I was always her son and big brother to all my siblings. Yesterday, I had my 18th birthday, and I spent the afternoon with my family and went to a party with my friends in the evening. When I got back home, everyone was already asleep, and there was an envelope on my pillow. I opened it, and it was a letter that my mother had written addressed to my 18-year-old self the day before she married my father. 12 years ago, she wrote that letter telling me that she would never dishonor my biological mother's memory, but would try her best to be a mother figure to me. She promised to kiss my forehead every morning before I got on the school bus. She promised to always encourage my interests and would try her hardest to come to every practice and game of mine. And she promised to never differentiate between me and any potential future siblings in any way, and many more beautiful promises. She ended it by saying, "You're an 18-year-old now, an adult, and are hopefully heading to college soon. And you no longer have any formal reason to maintain a relationship with me, but I truly hope in these last 12 years, I was able to be a loving mother and fulfill all my promises to you. And I can only hope that you will continue to give me the privilege of being your mom because you will always be my son. I love you." And had a picture of my father, my father took of her and my 3-year-old self at a zoo. Like my father, I'm a stoic, but in tune with my emotions kind of person. This letter had me crying, and I have not been able to stop reading it again and again. It's currently 4 a.m. as I type this. My mother fulfilled every promise she made 12 years ago, and I genuinely can't imagine life without her. She opened her arms and heart to a boy who she had zero biological responsibility towards, and has been the most loving and supportive mother I could possibly ask for. How do I even begin to thank her for everything else she did for me? What's something big or small I could do to show how grateful I am for her?
Oh man. I mean, I think the love that you show her every day is part of that gift that she receives. Oh, Sandman says asked to be adopted by her. That's maybe not a bad idea. Yeah, because I've seen like TikTok videos where people do that. They like present their step parent like adoption papers.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's something you want to do, you can definitely do that. I think maybe writing her a letter back, telling her how much like she's meant to you in your lifetime is also a way around that. Yeah, this is such a beautiful blended family, which we don't always get on this show.
Oh, yeah. Dustin, we saw your email, by the way. We got you. We're still scheduling time. You said July is kind of open for you. We'll plan something. I promise you, my friend. We want you back on the show. There is a little bit of an update. Dustin suggested something. So there's a quick little update here. So they wrote back. When I woke up, I read some of the comments and went straight to my mom and told her everything I wrote in the post. And I honestly couldn't keep it together and cried a little bit. I told her that no matter what, she was my mom and I loved her. I told her how much I appreciated her for all her love and support and that I was proud to be her son. She also cried a lot, and she just told me she loved me and she's very happy to have me around for a couple extra months. They said I should be starting college in a few weeks, but I'm committed to a college for football and will be enrolling in January instead and just taking community college classes and training right now. I'm planning to take her to the zoo and recreate the zoo photo, and I want to give her some kind of jewelry. I haven't figured out the jewelry part exactly, but I will eventually. For now, I just want to cherish these last couple of months before college and help my mom around the house however I can. Also, letters to our future selves is something I can get behind. Like a letter I write now and give to my mom before I get married or something would be nice. By the way, yes, she already legally adopted me on my 10th birthday, and I've been calling her mom/mama for as long as I can remember, for those who were asking. So that's his mom through and through.
That's awesome. I mean, going away to college is always sad, but I'm sure she's excited and happy for you to be taking that next step. I do like the idea of writing a note.
Yeah.
For like before the wedding day, or like even like graduation or something like that. Like something along those lines where it's just like maybe you guys just do like a back and forth letter thing for the rest of your lives. And I think that's super beautiful.
Yeah. We got so much, like, I think it's just Reddit making us jaded about, you know, situations. And we often just hear the worst of the stories because those are the ones that kind of stick. But it's always beautiful to see a family, especially a relationship between a parent and a kid. You know, I feel like parents are here to just make sure to have, they want to have the best possible life for you, right? And especially in this situation where, yeah, the mom took the son in very early on and treated her like, you know, they were their own. And it's beautiful that the relationship that they had. And I think for OP, the best thing that they can do is just succeed at life. Because obviously, you know, they felt the love and they felt the love at home. They seem like in a very healthy environment, and continue that. So like if they ever get to a relationship, foster that same relationship with your future family, your future kids. Let it be like an environment where, you know, they can be comfortable to show emotions and feelings like that. So the best gift that I think OP could give to the mom is just continue that legacy of love and just, you know, spread it around the world, and then just make sure the world is a better place than you were before.
Absolutely. Also, Sarby's in chat. Everyone give Sarby a shout out.
Hey, Sarby.
Says Ayo the boys.
Hey, come through, my guy, if you want.
Yeah, I can figure out how to get us all on here if you wanted to. Quick shout out to BBJ's ZMN. Subscribed 3 more months and said, Josh, can we get all the monthly bonus stories videos in one bingeable playlist? I keep forgetting to ask while you're here. LOL. Thank you.
Is this on YouTube?
Yes, on YouTube, I think.
They're all on a members only playlist now.
I think they want the monthly bonus story videos all together. So John did the members video all together, so I'm sure he can work something there.
They're there, like all the playlists on the playlist.
No, like you know, like the bonus story videos, the ones that I chop up to put all together at the end of the month.
On a monthly?
Yeah.
Oh, so you want that just specifically by itself?
Yeah, I think like as in with one playlist of all.
Oh yeah, we could definitely do that. That's
okay,
easy.
Cool. Also, I haven't done the one for today. It might be a little late. I apologize. It was a holiday yesterday.
It was Canada Day. Come
on. Dustin sent one Reddit on Wiki gifted membership. And then BBJZMN sends 420 and says, sorry for the distraction, because that was the one that distracted me from the title.
Oh, Bravo Echo, you're trying to find the Hot Ones episode. I think we did that back in like 2022.
Yeah, I think 2.
It sucks, but like it's really hard to make collections on Patreon. So unfortunately, it's just, you just gotta scroll down.
Yeah.
Or there might be a search button there. I'm not sure. We could try to find out.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate all the shout outs to Sarby and Chad, by the way. Midscore said the ADHD will be on fire if we get Sarby and John together.
Ooh. Man, Sarby, you got to get me in a good day, buddy. When my burr is burring, boy, we're going to have a good time, I swear.
It'd be a good time. It'd be chaotic for me to control, but
give me a heads up. I'll sleep for like a solid 6 to 7 hours. Take my medication immediately. It's gonna be quick bars, baby. We're just gonna be going and going and going nonstop.
Hell yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one here. This one is by Commercial Dish 7684, and it's from John's favorite, r/Petty Revenge.
You damn right.
Title is Asked Me for a Job After Making It Clear We Aren't Friends.
Oh. You got me. You want my reference? You want my reference?
Ain't no
I'm
way.
gonna refer you to this hand, meeting this bitch right here.
All right. So for some background, about 10 plus years ago, I went through a pretty lengthy divorce. That is a story in itself. And unfortunately, with many breakups, our friends, quote, picked a side. We didn't make any ultimatums. At least I didn't. but our friend group was definitely divided. I would say my ex got most of them because the majority were his friends when I met him, so it makes sense. This meant I was no longer invited to dinners or plans, and the calls and text messages gradually disappeared. Some unfollowed me on social media, but again, I understood and began to move on with my life and made new friends. There were a few exceptions, mainly the wives who I stayed friendly with, but nowhere near best friends. Anyway, on to the story. One day before finalizing the divorce, in one of those last chance to save our marriage type thing, I was invited to an event that my now ex-boyfriend invited me to. He had even reserved a VIP ticket and experience for me. So I'm in the VIP room collecting my credentials, and I bump into one of his friends. I said hi, and he literally just stared at me and walked around me. Keep in mind, this is someone who I took care of their animals when they were out of town, had game nights with, etc. Cool. Gotcha. Message received. A couple of years passed, I'm remarried, and I'm doing pretty well professionally. Out of the blue, I got an email to my work email from that guy. It started with something like, quote, "It's been a long time since we've connected. Hope all is well." Then it goes into, "By the way, I just applied for a job at your firm, and I put you down as a referral. Hope you'll put in a good word for me."
The only VIP this thing stands for is I will vehemently ignore peasant is what I'm about to do. Because you are not going to get a referral. You're going to use my credentials. You're going to use my position in the company to benefit your bitch ass after I watched your pet a couple years ago, and you're going to choose my ex over you. Stay broke, bitch, because they ain't going to get a job from me.
I think even if they were friends, like putting them down as a reference without even talking to them about it is crazy.
You ask first. Come on now.
I just sat there rereading it thinking, what the fuck? I did the obligatory LinkedIn visit and saw he had been hunting for a while. I sat on it for a while and initially decided to not reply or do anything. But the more I thought about it, I didn't really want to work with this guy, and he was kind of pissed off that he tried to use my name and title to get in. So I called HR and told them there was no way I would refer this guy. I also told one of the partners in the area he was applying the applying story, and we had a good chuckle about the actual nerve of this guy. Obviously, he never made it to the interview process. The end.
Good. Keep that green open to work ass banner on LinkedIn. Boy, you ain't getting shit from me, you dumb bitch. My petty revenge in this situation.
Ooh.
All right. Since you guys are active on LinkedIn, you make one of those really generic LinkedIn posts that pisses me the fuck off so much. You should actually reframe this as an am I the asshole situation, but on LinkedIn.
Ooh.
You say, hey, situation. I have a previous colleague of mine who I knew in the past. And you say all the backstory, and you do the most LinkedIn thing possible in the end. And you type in, agree? ? I'm just saying. Just saying.
That's
my corporate side would be like, agree, thumbs up, give them all this shit. Oh my God. Sometimes professional beef like that, when people act that way in a professional setting, sometimes I miss it, Josh. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I miss hearing the drama. Sometimes I miss all, like the cheating scandals. Like, oh, they did this, they did. Bitch, I love the gossip.
That's why I bring you these stories, John, because I know you love
it.
You love getting in the muck.
Oh, I do. Like it energizes me, And then I realize that I'm making someone else richer, and I'm like, well, you got me fucked up. I don't want to be doing this shit for the rest of my life. I want to be rich.
I just like the gossip part of it.
For real. And now I get to do this with you guys. Be more open. Yes. I don't have to say I don't have to use performance improvement plans and all those freaking high level words, man. I'm not circling back with anybody. You could circle jerk this dick for all I care.
So professional. I love it.
I got 2 hours left before I crash out completely. I am so tired.
We got this. We're locked in for 2 hours. Let's go. Shout out to NJ Harris, who sends $2. Says, love watching. And by the way, the best episode is Tyler's ghost episode.
Was that the one where Sean's camera keeps shutting off, or
Oh,
saw something
yeah.
where like, oh, that's Tyler's ghost.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the one that they the girlfriend that pretended they had a dead brother.
Oh, maybe
Was
that
it
was
that
it.
one?
Could have been. That
Could have
sounds maybe correct.
Could have been.
To be fair, the Tyler's Ghost one is only funny to people who watched and not listened.
True. Sean was freaking out, to be honest.
That was a fun one to edit. JK
Ugh.
was not. And then shout out to Piepers, who sends $20 and say,
Piepers.
just wanted to say thank you for keeping me entertained and distracted while I'm here cleaning up my late mom's email accounts. Appreciate you all. Heart emoji.
Hearts
that,
to you,
Piepers.
Piepers.
Glad we can keep you entertained for the next 2 hours until John's meds.
I will crash out. Also, like, I have like 3.5 hours of sleep too, because I had to drop off Juliet early, like in the airport, like at 5 a.m. So I'm just like, and I couldn't go back to sleep. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, I'm that way too. Once I wake up, it takes me a while to fall back.
Same.
Yeah.
I was gonna gym today, but I think I'm just gonna go take a nap afterwards.
I think I have to gym today. I did nothing yesterday.
Ooh.
I didn't even walk enough. It's crazy.
Ooh. All right, I'm up.
You're up, buddy.
All right. I'm trying to see which one. All right, let's do a funny one for now. This one, I got to do this one because it's Sean's favorite subreddit, and unfortunately, he's not here. But the title for this one is, first, this was posted by R Marriage Avoidance, and it's posted on r/Today I Fucked Up. The title is, Today I fucked up by telling my parents I was gay to avoid their arranged marriage proposals.
Okay. It would be crazy if they came back with, oh, we have a backup plan for that, actually.
I mean, I guess you shall see, Josh. I think you kind of you're there. You're
really?
There. You're there.
That's the most insane thing I could think of. So that's crazy.
You're there, buddy. All right. So let's read this one. So I'm pretty straight, maybe slightly bi if we count femboys. Let's get that out of the way first. I'm also an Indian American male around 26 years of age. I'd also like to clear up some misconceptions around arranged marriage. A lot of non-Indians seem to think it's literally your parents' A lot of non-Indians seems to think it's literally your parents' choice who you marry, and that's that. But that's not really the case. Instead, it's more like your parents tap their network to find potential partners for you. If you like each other's pics, then you guys meet in person, and then you decide whether or not you want to get married. So basically, your parents are Tinder, and what you get, and you get a meeting or two to decide whether or not you want to get married. It's not quite as bad as many of you think it is, but the whole process feels super rushed, and I'd rather date someone before I figure out if we're compatible or not. Anyways, my parents have recently been getting on my case about getting married. Apparently, I'm getting older, need to settle down, and give them grandchildren or something like that. Basically, every time I see them, which is fairly often since they live close by, they have a new potential match for me. A picture of some new girl, and ask me if I'd be willing to meet her. It's honestly super annoying, but I'm too non-confrontational to really put my foot down and say, I don't want an arranged marriage. After all, if I do, there'd be an argument or at a minimum, some interrogation about why I don't want one. Anyways, I was thinking of ways. What happened?
Not great. Someone in chat said, I don't think I'd want my parents to be Georgia said, I can't think of anything worse than my parents being my Tinder. I agree 100%. I can't imagine my parents picking out my future partner. That would just be, I don't know if it would be great.
Anyways, I was thinking of ways I could get them to stop harassing me about getting married, and the idea in the title popped up in my head. I decided it'd be a lot easier to just come out as gay than to explain why I didn't want an arranged marriage. My parents were fairly conservative, but weren't the types to disown their kids. And if I just said I was gay, I'd have a solid reason to not get an arranged marriage. I didn't like girls. So what I ended up doing this is what I ended up doing last time I was visiting. They were showing me pictures of some girl, and I just looked them in the eyes and said, Mom, Dad, I'm gay. They got really quiet and awkward and asked me if I was sure, and I said yes. My mom told me they'd love me no matter what and do what makes me happy. My dad was a lot more awkward and quiet, but later gave me a similar talk about how he was a bit uncomfortable with the idea, but recognizes that times are changing and I should do what makes me happy.
Okay, there was way worse outcomes than that.
Yeah.
All right.
We could have the Mama Lynn situation where like Mama Lynn went off on the. Overall, I did feel kind of bad because of how genuinely my parents seemed to respond to me, but was happy with the result. They stopped giving me arranged marriage proposals and stopped showing me pictures of girls. That is until last weekend. I visited them as usual and was greeted by my mom, who was more excited than usual. She sat me down and pulled out a binder with a bunch of pictures of guys.
Crazy to have a binder.
Apparently, my parents had spent the last month or so looking for any and all gay Hindu Indian men who I could potentially marry. So now I guess I'm dealing with the exact same shit, but instead of being greeted with pictures of cute Indian girls, I get to see pictures of gay Indian dudes instead. Fuck my life, LOL. At this point, the plan is to either find a girlfriend and tell my parents she totally turned me straight, or maybe marry a twink or something. I don't know.
I will say, part of that story is pretty wholesome. They support you no matter what. That's great. I love that. They are still badgering you about arranging a marriage, which is the initial problem. But as far as problematic parents, I think your parents just love you and want the best for you.
Yeah, should be happy. Yeah.
Yeah, in the way that they know how. Yeah, I mean,
and there's also like a cultural undertone that like us don't understand about like those arranged marriage. I personally, it couldn't be for me, but if it works for others, then I don't know. You can't really knock on it. So
yeah, it is funny that it's funny that they're like, we can accept you being gay. We just cannot accept you not allowing us to set you up with someone.
We're going to set you up no matter what.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the update, my guy?
Oh, there's an update. Okay.
There's an update.
Let's do it.
I will say all my stories today, I do have updates.
Oh, shit.
I read all the comments on the original post from the people telling me to just tell my parents, questioning whether or not I was really straight, laughing at the admittedly fairly funny situation I'd gotten myself into, and a couple of people who were straight up mean. And Reddit, do better sometimes,
Jesus
please.
Christ.
At the end of the day, through posting here, probably gave me the final push to do something. The weekend after I'd made the post, I visited my parents as always and resolved myself to tell them the truth. However, when I got there, my mom always pushed the binder in my hands, and I kind of lost my resolve to tell her. And I decided to just play along. It was then that I remembered people on this thread who made fun of me for liking femboys and questioned whether or not I was really straight. I kind of took that to heart and decided to look at the binder of dudes in earnest to see if I liked any of them. To be honest, I'm really glad I did. Most of the dudes were unattractive as expected, but I found a dude on there who I legitimately think is cuter and more feminine than the vast majority of girls I've seen. I told my mom I liked him, and she kind of joked around asking me what the point of being gay is when I wanted a dude who looked like a girl anyways. And they just laughed about it.
Roasted by your mom. Jesus Christ.
She talked to his parents. We had a meeting set up over Zoom, and overall, it went really well. Me and him have a bunch of common interests. We're both massive weebs and history nerds, and he also disclosed that he apparently cross-dressed in private, which only made me like him more. In the end, though, we both decided we didn't want to rush into marriage and wanted to do a dating trial run of sorts. I told my parents, and they were fine with it. My dad literally just told me that as long as we have marriage as an eventual goal and don't have sex before marriage, they don't mind. And they don't mind if we dated. Y'all, literally this whole shit show could have been avoided, though I'm kind of glad it wasn't. Luckily, he lived in the same state as me, but he was still 3 to 4 hours drive away, so mostly we just had Discord calls and spent time together gaming for the past few weeks. This Saturday, though, we finally managed to meet up in person and have a date, and honestly, I think I'm kind of in love.
Hell yeah.
Dude's cuter than any girl I've ever met, but unlike most girls, he's actually into the same things I am. Anyways, we ended up having a great day out on Saturday, and I ended up staying at his place over the weekend. though surprisingly, I kept my promise to my dad and somehow avoided having sex. LOL. Anyways, yeah, I'm now back home and extremely happy with my decision to lie to my parents. Then again, is it really lying if it turned out to be true? I really do like him and will probably ask him to marry me in a couple of months from now if nothing goes wrong.
Wow.
You found out a lot about yourself, so congrats,
Yeah.
OP.
And your parents the binder had some good ones in there. So I shouldn't have doubted the binder.
Bindering.
I shouldn't have doubted it. That's my bad. But yeah, congratulations, OP. I wish you nothing but the best going forward in your dating life. Sounds like you found, hopefully your person going forward. And
Yeah.
they sound like an awesome person.
Yeah, y'all can enjoy history and what is it when people say weebs? Is that people that watch anime? Is that what it is? Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool. That's cool shit.
Yeah. I think anime is pretty popular now. So
yeah. And gaming too. You can have what's that game y'all play? Split Fiction?
Split Fiction? Yeah.
You can play those 2-player games. Yeah.
It's always fun.
You're up, buddy.
I just wanted to give some shout outs before we did that.
Hell yeah.
D. Thompson sends $14.99 and says, truly impressed the maturity and wisdom of you three young men. You might regret saying that after Monday's episode.
I gotta say, we do say a lot of like peen jokes, so maturity
might not be there.
In question still.
Wisdom's also up in the air, but we appreciate that. And then they say, I'm a 60-year-old grandmother and seeing you guys gives me comfort for the future. Love y'all like a mom. Heart emoji.
Mama D.
Appreciate
we love you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Also, we're extremely lucky that all our partners tolerate the shit out of us because we are quite a handful.
Also true.
I might just be speaking for myself, to be honest.
Beck's girl sends $10. Says all I can send is a tip until I meet my next payday, but I really appreciate getting to listen to you guys tell these stories. Really needed these laughs while my body makes me feel like shit today. Heart Canada emoji. Sorry that you're not feeling well, but hope you enjoyed Canada Day yesterday. Maybe that's why your body feels like shit today.
It's all the maple syrup running through your veins. Is that what's happening?
That's what we do. Yeah, John. We all get together and we just chug
crank it up, right?
Maple syrup. Yeah. Have you ever been to a kegger?
Oh, absolutely. Just do a keg stand and that's how you tap maple syrup. You know what I mean?
Right. But we do that with just trees. That's how it happens here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a Canadian thing to do. Did you Uber with a moose on a moose?
Yes. The Mounties picked us up and take us there.
Yeah. You got like a Mountie escort, right?
You understand.
Typical Canadian thing. Just how in Texas we ride our horses and shit, cowboy hats. That's what we do.
All right. So this one here, coming from AITAH.
Hell yeah.
Posted by a throwaway account. Title is, Am I the Asshole for Getting a New Nurse Fired for Accusing Me of Having an Affair with My Father?
What's a relationship? Wait, hold on. The nurse is insinuating that there's incest going on?
Yes.
It took a while for it to click, but wait a minute.
Yeah, this is a...
I mean,
good title.
Nurses shouldn't be spreading rumors. So
I don't know if you've ever met a nurse before.
I mean, at least not in front of the patient. I know the gossip is there, right?
The gossip
at least not in front of the patient.
Okay.
I'm gonna go not the asshole. This is probably a deserved firing, but we shall see.
So, hey Reddit, I'm a hospital social worker at a small hospital. My dad is one of the ER day shift charge nurses. A few weeks ago, I was in the ER trying to figure out a placement for an elderly patient. When I was leaving, I had a chat with my dad in the hallway. Before I left, he gave me a hug and told me not to be late for dinner. I joked about how I'm going to order the most expensive steak on the menu since it's his turn to pay. For reference, I'm 27 female and my dad is 51 male. There was a new nurse at the nursing station nearby. Pretty much everyone knows that he's my dad. I haven't spoken with this new nurse much at this point, and she didn't know. Apparently, she thought my dad and I were having an affair based off what she saw/heard. She knew my dad was married to my mom, who brings him lunch sometimes. She immediately began gossiping to some of the other staff that my dad is having an affair with the hospital social worker aka me. Which I gotta say, if that is your, like, if she was actually concerned, she would have gone to HR or you
and ask
and
first.
talked about it. Like, what
the
fuck? One older nurse that I've known for a long time immediately came to me. I don't think she liked this new nurse very much. I guess no one decided to tell her that he's my dad. I hate gossipers, and I don't know what it is about nurses, but I swear to God, some of them really love to spread rumors. I decided to not take it up with her and just went straight to HR. We were both asked to come into HR after our shift was over, along with my dad. Now, the HR lady knows that he's my father. So when the new nurse came in, she was asked to explain, and she said that she thinks it's terrible that we'd be so blatant about having an affair. And she was shocked because she thought my dad seemed like such a nice guy. So she thought she was getting called into HR to tell her, to be like, what's the problem here?
The HR was like, bitch, I want to know too, what the fuck's happening? Because that would be me, not gonna lie.
My dad then decided to speak up and explain that I'm his child. The new nurse was mortified and apologized profusely. The HR lady asked me and my dad to leave. They had a meeting with the unit manager, and it was decided that the new nurse would be fired immediately because she was still in her 90-day probationary period. My mom thinks I'm a jerk and should have just brought it up to the nurse instead of bringing it to HR when I knew she would probably get fired. I think my mom is also sympathetic because she stalked the woman's Facebook and she's a single mom or whatever. I think I was right to get her fired because the hospital doesn't need a bunch of nurses sitting on their asses gossiping instead of doing their job. My dad is embarrassed and feels awkward about the whole thing. It's not the first time someone thought I was dating my dad. We aren't weird about it or anything, but it happens. Anyway, am I the asshole?
I'm going to go with no. And I think it's kind of telling how the way they spread rumors, or the way that this specific nurse spread rumors, and no one corrected her off the bat, say like, hey, you shouldn't be saying that because they're related. You know what I mean? If you were a decent person, I think, or like a good coworker, someone would have been like, hey, you might want to stop that. That's the thing. But the fact that no one corrected her, right?
Says a lot.
Kind of says a lot to me. Yeah. And if she already has a reputation of spreading rumors like that within that 90-day probationary period, I'm kind of getting a vibe that they don't really fuck with this person, or they're just not a good fit for like the current team that they're in. Also, I've seen someone in the comments saying that like they gave her a lot of rope to basically like fess up.
Yeah.
I think so too, but she even went to that HR like ready to spill the
confident.
tea. It wasn't even like, hey, apologies, that's my mistake. I shouldn't have done that. Just like, nah, that shit is wrong. Like that shit is nasty. So I think the nurse did it by themselves, or did it to themselves. So I'm going not the asshole on this one.
Yeah, and for me, it's like you were kind of alluding to it, but it sounds like this isn't the only reason. You know what I mean? Like, I feel there has to be like a bunch of things for them to get like let go, even if it is 90-day probationary period. So there's probably been other people that have been complaining about whether it be the gossiping or something like that, and this was just the, the straw that broke the camel's back kind of thing, because. Yeah, she's like I said, for her to immediately go to gossiping about something super serious like this makes me think this is not the first time, nor does it tell me that she cares. Yeah, she's trying to get clout in some roundabout way by being like, oh, I have gossip. You know what I mean? So yeah, not the asshole, and I think she needs to, learn how to work in a professional setting.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And it's like, come on, it's especially in those type of environment, like your work environment too. It's just, I feel like nurses always have super long shifts. So chances are you're going to, with their 16-hour shift that they got going on, you're going to run into like kind of the same crowd. And it's like for those, because sometimes you can get away with like, being whatever, and then like an 8-hour or typical 8-hour work shift, but like those doubles, like man, you have to like stand out, and you actually like have to put your weight too, like put your like work effort there too. And I just feel like this person is not really the best in that environment, and they just probably spend a lot of time, spreading rumors and gossiping.
Yeah. as Dustin said in chat, there are affairs going on in school districts I work at. Know what I say? Not a damn thing. It's not my problem.
Oh, principals be fucking, bro. Like, I bet.
No. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you were truly concerned, the thing to do would not to be to gossip. It'd be to talk to the person directly or go to HR. Like, it's just the way they did it is not showing that they actually care.
Yeah. And another thing too is like, all right, if you've seen the wife, like, why are you so pressed about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you trying to do? You're trying to impress the doctor? I don't know.
I thought I had a chance.
Yep. All right. So let me see. Let's do this one.
Okay. You're jumping around, I can tell.
I am jumping around. You guys have been talking a lot about D&D, so I picked this kind of D&D story for you.
Whoa, D&D story.
Yeah, it's gonna be wholesome. All right, we shall see. All right, this one is posted on r/DM Academy. I went deep in my bag there, brother. By Utter Lower Score Degenerate. The title is "My Boomer Dad Wants to Play with My Group."
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, that's nice that they're taking an interest in your hobby and wants to get included. That's super cool. All
right. We shall see how it goes. I recently asked my dad, 66, if he was interested in playing for a session. He was very skeptical as he had always been calling me and my friends absolute fucking nerds for our hobby for the last 2 decades. I explained the basic setting of the game. Dystopic? Am I pronouncing that right? Dystopic.
Yeah, dystopic probably.
Okay, there you go. Film noir, 40s Soviet Union with a lemon twist of Nazi Germany in 1984. Again, he was skeptical. Then the next day he called me up and said, yeah, I'm game. He even had a concept for a character and everything. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm very happy about this, and I've constructed a fairly lightweight session for him and the other 2 players. I think it's going to be great. Just wanted to know if you people had some advice on getting an older new player introduced to the hobby. I suppose it's fundamentally the same no matter the player's age, but I've never had to do this for someone this much older than I am. And it's especially odd that it's my father who always had nothing but disdain for the hobby. Either way, the session will be next evening. It'll be interesting. Wish me luck. So as a D&D player, Josh, for someone who is like fairly new, what would you say a good strategy to coming in as a newbie?
Oh man. Yeah, because I've been DMing for about a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the concept of getting them interested is the same. Just encourage them to get into the role play. I would say try and avoid too many super technical rules right off the bat, and just let them like adapt into it. So if you have a rule gamer in your group, just be like chill for the session. Like I want them to get into it. But yeah, I think the concept is the same of getting them into it and just introducing them to the role play aspect, which is the super fun part. It's funny watching new players play D&D because like you set them up with the scene and like dangle a carrot in front of them, and then you watch them go, what do I do? And it's like, well, what would your character do? What do you think
want to do?
Your character would do in this situation? Act it out. See, like do what the world is your oyster in this. I can do whatever you want to a degree. And it's super cool to watch people slowly get out of their comfort zone and be like, oh, and realize that they can actually like interact with things and do whatever they want truly in this world. So I'm super interested to see how this goes because I know John has updates on this ones.
You make me want to play, brother. Yeah, you say you've had a D&D podcast. You've been DMing for a while. I want to play with you and Sean someday. That is my goal.
I will say I'm definitely a weaker DM than I am a player. It's just a lot to manage, and I find that stressful, but it's fun. It's fun either way. And I'm definitely in the future when John or when Sean has more time, honestly, that's what it is. Once he has more time, we can look into do something like that.
Oh, role playing shit. Get me into that, brother. I'll do anything at this point. All right. I spoiled it already. There is an update.
My last well, I got to shout it too, but my last advice is once you finish the session, close your Dungeon Master book, stare at him and be like, "You fucking nerd."
One of us. One of us.
One of us. The blind therapist sends $5 and said, needed to give some more for the D&D story from a fellow D&D nerd. Hell yeah. And it looks like we've got quite a few D&D nerds in chat.
What the hell is a bard?
They like...
Don't they sing?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them play like an instrument and then like...
I don't know how
that's
to
how
play
they
no fucking
battle.
Instrument.
No, they they do like... one of their main attacks is vicious mockery, where they just insult
Oh, you
people,
just like insult people?
and it does
I can
damage.
do that.
I knew you would like that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I am here to Barty first person energy. I love it. All right. So this update's kind of long. So let's get into it. Not to bury the lead, things went much better than I hoped and much, much better than I expected.
Yeah.
Everyone involved was impressed by how well my father did both in role playing and in picking up the basic rules. I gotta say, I think your father was a nerd.
Yeah. He's been studying.
Yeah, he's a closeted nerd. The adventure was pretty far from the most complex mystery or deep characters I've ever created, but I wanted to start with something fairly straightforward, and it turned out entirely serviceable for an introductory session. Overall, the game was very enjoyable for everyone involved, and there absolutely will be a second session. So they kind of went in more detail of what happened and kind of just paint a picture of what that game looked like. System played, noir Swedish RPG from 2006. And they put in bracket or I don't even know what this is called. The little dots, bullet points. That's what it's called. Explaining the nature of role-playing games wasn't too difficult, especially since the other two players present could help explain the basic concepts and present their individual perspectives. The rules proved more of a challenge. I had written his character sheet on my own in accordance with his presented character concept, and suddenly being faced with so many seemingly random numbers with no frame or reference made his eyes glaze over. We quickly explained that he could safely ignore the vast majority and kept the pregame prep limited to rolling skill checks and applying bonuses. I think that's what's going to fuck me up. Remember that one live stream we had where I had to follow instructions?
Yeah.
Brother, like done first page.
That's fair.
Amusingly, the example used. You try to sabotage a fuse box, roll construction with a bonus to electronics. A roll that in most circumstances would almost have been automatic success for his character ended up with him rolling double ones on what's 2d10? 2d10? Two-sided 10 dice?
2 dice that are 10-sided.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. So his very first skill check was a 1 out of 100 catastrophic botch.
Oh, man.
Off to a good start. The setting was also fairly easy for him to grasp. He even told me that had it been a fantasy world with dragons and magic and bullshit, he would have refused to partake. Rainy alleyways, jazz clubs, corrupt cops, and car chases, though, fall much more easily within his frame of reference. Now, the setting does have some supernatural elements, but they're very obscure, rarely encountered, and when they are, they should come out as a surprise to the player. So I don't feel too bad about not telling him about that. The character he chose to play was an aging radio frequency engineer with a background working with the Ministry of Security. So basically a Fed. After leaving the ministry, he set up a private engineering firm, got screwed over by his business partner, is now wanted by the cops for embezzlement, though to be fair, it's a crime the police doesn't give all that much of a shit about, so they're not actively searching for him, and has turned to working for a local crime boss who is mighty interested in counter surveillance.
God damn.
This is pretty good character.
The fantasy world.
For real. Now, that character doesn't make too much sense. It's not world-breaking or anything, but it's very unlikely that the Ministry of Security would allow one of their former agents to work for the goddamn mafia. And it's equally unlikely that the boss of said mafia would work with a former ministry drone. But hey, first character, not familiar with the setting, I'll give it a pass, might even present some interesting story hooks down the line. So did he create that backstory himself?
Yeah, usually like the players create their own backstories. But like sometimes with help with the DM. So I'm imagining he probably helped him out with creating that. But super cool.
Yeah. The characters was specifically noted to not be much used in combat. Aging, late 60s, frail, carries a Derringer-like handgun, but isn't very good at using it, which was a bit interesting. In my experience, new players tend to go more for combat than technical skills. As the game started proper, my father got into the groove of role-playing very quickly. He would actively engage with the other PCs and NPCs, would speculate about the plot and offer suggestions for how to proceed, would object to ideas he thought didn't make sense based on the presented facts, but without being domineering. Pretty much what I would suspect from an experienced player rather than from a completely fresh newbie. Surprising, but highly appreciated. He would also play to his strengths and keep his weakness in mind. The rules were again more of an issue, but not a major one. The system is pretty user-friendly in the first place, and new concepts were introduced gradually. So hidden roles, opposed roles, combat, etc. Towards the end of a session, he barely needed any help at all.
Hell yeah.
Your dad seemed like a good-ass player.
Yeah.
He probably played when he was in his 20s or some shit.
I will say there's no bad players, but it's just like, it seems like he caught on pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only major oddity was when engaging with an NPC, he would play out both sides of the conversation himself. It was a bit of a struggle to explain why the NPC is typically portrayed by the GM.
Yeah.
Not a huge deal when the NPC is just a bartender, but more of when it's a major story element. He also tended to overthink problems, which is somewhat on me for making the intrigue fairly simple in the first place. There were some twists and turns, but he was expecting conspiracies and betrayals around every corner. He's committing to the bit, brother.
He's way in on it.
Yep. Then again, his PC was a bit paranoid, so you know what? Also, I'd much rather have an over-engaged player than the opposite. Also played his character as pretty damn cold-blooded among to the point of sadistic. The other PCs are much closer to black than gray on the spectrum, so that behavior wasn't disruptive or anything. It was just a bit surprising how quickly he pulled out the jumper cables when they were trying to get information out of a captive. What the fuck? Again, not something that would work well with many other groups, but he fit right with ours. And just to close it off, he did get tripped up by some fairly simple DM tricks. One example, this is how they're playing out a scene, like there's characters. Suspicious guard. Are you here on official business? Dad. Yes, regarding the funeral. Even more suspicious guard. The upcoming funeral? Dad. Yes, precisely. Guard leaning in, baring his teeth. The funeral was yesterday, bud. And the dad, fuck. Though to be fair, the other player with him totally fell for it as well. At the end, we had a great evening. The major mystery had been solved, and now an NPC has presented them with another task, assassinating his own twin sister.
Oh, shit.
While the adventure was A, B, C, D, E sort of affair, the follow will be much more open for the PCs to be proactive and scheme on their own. I'm interested in seeing how they handle it. This morning, my father texted me asking when the next game is, which a week ago, I never thought would happen in a million years. Finally, I just want to give a heartfelt thank you to all the people who posted it in the original thread with kind, encouraging, and insightful words. I was more than a bit nervous about all of this, but you guys really came through and hyped me up. I'm genuinely grateful for that.
God damn. That's I mean, as good as you could have asked for it to go. I do have to correct BBJ in chat said there are bad players. That is true. There are like there can be like really creepy players or really players that really like take over the table and can be problematic. I've never had someone like that, but I've heard horror stories.
Do you just like kill them off? And sorry if you hear alarm blaring, it's the tornado test every month. Yeah.
Do you kill them off? Usually you try and talk to them and like see if they are willing to like respect the group's like boundaries and stuff like that. If not, then you kind of just have to cut them out of the group.
Stab.
You don't want anyone that's going to make someone uncomfortable or creepy or anything like that.
True.
Donatello sends $2 and says, Josh has a D&D podcast. Did I hear that correctly? I had a D&D podcast. It's not one I like to something I like to talk about because one of my friends that was on it has passed away. But yeah, we did do that years and years and years ago, but it was fun. And then the quality is terrible. So keep that in mind.
As in all our first podcasts.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And then D Nice sends $5, says I'm back. Sorry, I had a work meeting. Also on YouTube because Patreon disconnected from my earphones again. LOL. Hi, John, Josh. Happy late Canada Day. Thank you very much. I don't think we're live on Patreon, so you're okay there.
Yeah, we sent the link on Patreon though, just in case y'all want to be here.
Okay,
yeah, but the chats are still open, but I feel like everyone's here already. But welcome everybody.
Sounds good. All right. Let's move into. Let's do this one. This one's insane.
Okay.
This one's posted by a throwaway. r/relationship advice.
Oh.
Title for this one is I, 24 female, want to break up with my magician boyfriend, 27 male, due to his inappropriate magic trick.
How you gonna do it? For my next trick, you're single. You should just do it like that.
Let's make this relationship disappear.
Disappear. Holy shit.
Yeah, this one's crazy. All right, so also technically illegal, but not that crazy. My boyfriend, 27 male, and I, 24 female, have been together for 1 year and 3 months.
Sean will still say it's illegal.
Sean would, yeah. Our relationship has been very loving, but has started to get bumpy ever since we moved in together for our 1 year anniversary. So here's a little backstory. I'm in college right now pursuing my master's degree in archaeology while also working as a library clerk to earn money. Whereas my boyfriend works as a magician for parties and events. Despite our different career paths, I've never had a problem with his career choice because it makes him happy. He has always found a way to make everyday magical, which has been sweet.
I mean, it's kind of his job.
Yeah, it has to. About 9-ish months into our relationship, I had the opportunity to go on a 2-month archaeology excavation in another country for school. Despite us being long distance, he has no problem with me going, and he was happy for me. He would send me gifts, letters, and even send things for my colleagues in order to brighten up their days. While we were doing long distance, we made plans to move into an apartment when I got back due to how much we missed each other.
Oh, he cheated.
And a few days after I returned, we moved in together, which has been awful so far.
Oh.
Yeah. Before living together, we would see each other a few times a week due to my busy schedule. But now that we live together, we see each other all the time, which is kind of how it works.
That's why it's called living together.
Yeah. I don't know what you expected, but and he has started to do magic tricks all the time. He will make my keys disappear as I'm trying to go to work or school. He tries to practice his card tricks on me while I'm doing homework. He makes the cleaning rag vanish when I ask him to clean, and he has recently done something that's made me want to end the relationship. I have never been in this serious of a relationship before, so I don't want to throw out our loving relationship just because of these few bad months. Last month, we were getting steamy, and he went down on me, which isn't unusual. While he was going down on me, he was saying some dirty talk here and there, and I was lost in the moment for obvious reasons, but I snapped out of it when he said, quote, "Oh, how did that get in there?" And I watched him pull a coin from my crotch.
Hey, yo. Yo.
Holy shit.
Abracadabra, kitty dry.
He found the coin moment hilarious, but it just took me out of the moment and instantly made me annoyed, so we stopped. Later, I told him that doing the magic in the bedroom made me literally dry up, so I asked him to keep that kind of magic out of the bedroom. He explained to me that he was trying to make me laugh/have fun, and he didn't apologize for it. I talked with some of my friends about it, and they thought it was funny, so I figured that I was overreacting and needed to lighten up a bit. But he didn't do any magic tricks in the bedroom for the next few weeks. However, 4 days ago, we were having sex and he suddenly started to yell, "Ow." So I quickly got off him and asked him what was wrong. And he tells me, "I think there's something in you. Let me check." I laid on the bed like I was at a goddamn gyno because I trusted that if something was wrong, he would find it. After like 2 minutes, he says, "Oh, here it is." And I watched as he was pulling up a long ribbon thing that kept going and going and going and going.
Oh, my God, come on.
Ugh. It took a few seconds for me to realize that it was one of his magic tools that he had purposely put in me while he was checking to see what he felt. He found it hilarious and couldn't stop laughing while he was pulling the string more and more. I ripped the thing out while doing it, and I yelled at him for doing another magic trick like that, even though I told him not to. He told me that he was doing it to add more fun to our sex life, and that he wanted to see what the magic trick would look like if it was coming out of the crotch.
It has to be consensual first.
Yeah. The original magic trick involves putting the coil in your mouth and then pulling the plastic string for a while. I was pissed off, so I made him stay at his parents' house for the last few days. This morning, I talked with him some more, but he still thinks it's not a big deal. I get that he's a magician and loves magic, but I'm still upset about him breaking that boundary I had set. I'm fine with his magic tricks 85% of the time, but sex is where I draw the line. I'm a demisexual, so I have a strong, trusting, and close relationship with someone before I can even think about having sex with them. So him breaking my boundary has really hurt my trust. And however, everyone I've talked to about the situation says what he did was hilarious. And I've been told by multiple people that I'm overreacting, which is why I've decided to come to Reddit. We built a strong relationship, and I really saw myself marrying him one day. I fully trusted him, and now I don't know if I ever can again. Should we break up, or can we fix this and stay together?
You break the fuck up. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. The probably the first half of the story, especially when the whole moving in, seeing each other every day. At first, I'm just like, damn, you sound really just annoyed at this fool. I feel like it's just not working out. I feel like you're not really feeling each other anymore. The first time around, I think that's already weird to begin with. But I think if he did it the first time around, you said stop, I don't appreciate that, and they left it at that, I feel like the relationship could still be salvageable because yes, it was fucked up kind of like how they did it. And I think it's, again, it's not consensual, and I think it's wrong for him not to do that. Yeah. But I think a deeper conversation could have been had and said like, hey, I don't appreciate this during sex. Could you just please stop? Had that stopped, I think apologized. I think there might be a little chance. But the moment he did it the second time around, knowing that you don't like that, I think that's assault.
That's yeah. Oh no, 100%. Yeah, it's something you asked him beforehand you didn't want to do or didn't want to like go through ever again, and
did it anyways.
And he did it anyway. So yeah, that's 100%, in my opinion, assault. And him doubling down on it and not apologizing is that's breakup worthy.
Oh, absolutely. And you need to like wave your wand and do disappearing acts on those people too that are saying that this shit is funny, because it's not.
Something tells me those are his friends, and
probably because that's again, this is once the consent was gone, it's really icky. I would leave this person.
Once the magic is gone, John.
You damn right.
Super fucked up. I would definitely leave him and find someone else that respects your boundaries. And like you said yourself, it's a trust thing.
And he broke it.
And it would take you a long, long time to ever forgive him again. So, I think that's and based on what he's done in the past, he's not going to stop. So
no,
that's a no for me.
What's that one trick? Avada Kedavra or whatever? The death spell? That one. In a video game.
No, there's a bunch of, like the Cruciatus curse or whatever.
One of them.
That's the torture curse.
Oh. All the painful stuff is what you do.
Oh God. Yeah.
In a video game. I don't know how to wink, so that.
In a book series.
And sure.
that I read when I was a preteen.
And that we don't fuck with the author.
Yes.
And we don't even mention her because
Yeah.
she sucks as a human being.
She does.
But it sucks that she created such a great world. And I fucking hate it.
It does suck.
shit.
Can we talk about that?
We can, absolutely. You know how much I love going to Universal Studios and riding the fuck
Man.
out of like Hagrid's ride. You know how I fucking love getting one of those meat pies and enjoying a nice, delicious butterbeer. But every time I fucking drink it, I get sad because we end up supporting a piece of shit like
Yeah.
J.K. fucking Rowling. You know,
Literally.
Hogwarts Legacy. I fucking love that game, but the fact that this bitch probably gets some royalty from that, I fucking hate it.
Yeah, it's the it's just it was my first like novel that I ever read as a kid was a Harry Potter book, and now it's just tainted. It sucks so fucking much. It's I don't know. I hate it. It does suck having an HP tattoo. That would suck, but I don't know. But
that's not. But like, you know, it's a core memory for a lot of people, right? And it's understandably so. Like to me, a lot of times, like one of the first books that I kind of read too, Josh, like Harry Potter, like the first one, I didn't read the rest of them, but like that helped me a lot to read as an immigrant. I didn't know how to speak English that well, and reading was the only thing that kind of helped me speak a little bit better, be more confident. And that's one of the first few books that I kind of read growing up. And it sucks that it's getting tied to this piece of shit of a human being who uses the money they got from those books to torture damn near everyone else that's like, or, you know, like a community that's does nothing to them. Like, what the fuck are you doing, brother?
Like let's pick on a minority group. But and Paella says you can always separate the art from the artist. And I think that's true when they are dead. So I'm not saying I'm wishing anything, but I think that's the line for me. It's like when I'm no longer supporting them doing shit, then it's okay for me personally. But
I will not fault people for still liking it or enjoying it. No, because you know that's your prerogative. But I in that sense, I will separate the person because I think we can call them out that they're a piece of shit and they're a terrible person. It just sucks that it's a core memory for a lot of people, and it's, you know, if people like enjoy that's like a world that they can kind of, you know, immerse themselves in. Yes, there might be better stories, but I ain't gonna lie, those characters are iconic, so I can't help it sometimes.
100%.
If I were to like you know, suggest pirating, that'd be one.
I'm down for that.
High seas, baby. High seas HP. Let's call it that.
There we go. What is it? Abracadabra steel.
Right. The Abra 5-finger discount. All right. I guess I'm up. How many more stars you got, brother?
I've got as many as we got to go till 2. So
okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Which one should I do? Let's do this one because we're obviously not parents. So this one is posted on r/parenting. We're experts. Speaking of parenting,
how's Kevin doing?
Kevin, are you still alive? Okay, you good? All right, he's chilling. I saw him. He nodded his head.
He's like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, he's good.
Sorry, leave me alone.
Woke him up. Yeah. Like if y'all see, sorry, my house is a mess right now. You see that like that all the crap in there? Like that's the boxes he just destroyed. And now he's asleep. So, and he likes watching dog TV. So we just have dog TVs of him of like
my God,
dogs running around. I have an iPad kid. So,
you do, which doesn't surprise me, to be honest.
Yeah. You know, he's enriched and he's going to run around after this. So, you know, make sure my babies are taken care of, you know?
100%.
Yeah. All right. What did I say I was doing? Oh, this is from r/parenting, posted by Wins. The title for this one is Meeting My 16-year-old son for the Very First Time Tomorrow.
I'm assuming this is you had to give them up for adoption or something like that situation. I mean, it could be that you're a terrible parent and left them, but I'm hoping it's not that. But all right, let's see how this goes.
All right, we shall see. They put, hey all, to make a long story short, 17 years ago, my girlfriend at the time came to me and informed me that she was pregnant. We were in the process of splitting up when we found out. She already had one child from another gentleman and was undecided about her next moves, but it was likely that she was moving back with her parents to get some life things sorted. Her parents are approximately 14 hours away. We discuss options and what each of us would like with respect to the child. It was agreed upon that our number one intent was to provide the child with a safe and stable household in which to grow up. Adoption was the direction we were leaning. Fast forward about 6 months into the pregnancy, she makes a decision to get back together with her first child's father and to attempt to repair that relationship. We discussed what would happen with the child's upbringing and that father one would be willing to accept full responsibility for the child and would accept him as if he were father one's own. So it's still the stability aspect for the kid. Fast forward again to the child being around 1 year old. I receive a phone call from the child's mother asking if I would like to meet. Just her and I to discuss things and catch up. I agree. We meet and catch up. She gives me a couple of photos from the first year life. I'm also informed that the move back to be closer to the mother's parents is happening at the end of that month. The only other contact that was made was approximately 5 years ago, when I got an email with an updated email address for the mother. No other details were provided. One final fast forward to Sunday of last week. I received a notification that the child's mother would like to connect with me via LinkedIn. So we have a LinkedIn story here again.
Okay.
Not a sponsor. It is of note that neither of us keep any real social media presence, as neither of us really see a point to it. Accept the invitation, and I got a message like this. Hi, OP. I apologize for seeking you out through your business, but this was the only way I could find to contact you. This must be a bit of a surprise to hear from me out of the blue. I hope you're well. Child's name is 16 years old. He has been asking questions about his birth father and genetics. I think he would like to meet you. If perhaps you might also be interested, please contact me at. If you have any concerns or would not like to meet, I would still appreciate a short reply just so I know you received this message. Again, I hope this finds you well. Signed, mother's name. I'm completely shaken at this point. I have ebbed and flowed on a desire to reach out for years, but have not done so as I have not wanted to overstep and deeply value a two-parent household, not a two-parent household plus another parent, with or without a spouse on the side. I reach out to the mother via phone and we have a short but pleasant conversation. They are living about 45 minutes away and have been for about the last 12 years. We agreed to meet for coffee and to catch up again the following day. We talked for about 5 hours. I saw many photos, heard about the child's upbringing, his successes, his failures, some funny stories, all of the things that a parent would like to hear about their child. At the end of the meeting, I am asked if I would like to meet the child at a restaurant somewhere close to the middle of the two of our places on Saturday, which they said tomorrow. I agreed to this and now approximately 16 hours away from this meeting. I am going to be completely honest. I'm freaking out over here. After feeling like I had failed my first and only child, I choose to get a vasectomy as I never wanted to feel that level of guilt and failure ever again. There were many times that I felt like I was never ever going to have the opportunity to meet my child, and I have done a lot of work to make peace with that thought. How do I even approach this situation at this point? I'm over the moon excited to meet my child for the first time. However, I still have such incredible feelings of guilt and failure. I have concerns for the unknown. Will the meeting be a positive one? Am I simply going there to get shredded by a teenager with an axe to grind or an otherwise negative disposition towards a father that was not there for him? As mentioned above, I have never had children. I don't know how to parent. I recognize that it's still very much not my role, but that doesn't change the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing even in this meeting tomorrow. Any thoughts and opinions are very welcome.
As Dustin said, you can't know unless you go. I mean, that's probably anxiety talking. It's just like, worrying about all the different possibilities. I will say it's kind of shitty that they just kind of cut you out of the kid's life.
Yeah, but it's also an OP to like
for not
keep
reaching
that
out
contact.
as well.
But but it did say like he didn't want to like ruin the dynamic of the household. But I mean, it's also your kid, you know?
Yeah. Was he supporting in any way too?
I don't think so. Like based on like the context that I'm getting, because the other parent took them in, it sounds like they became the that parent's responsibility, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So then it's like, well, how much responsibility do you really have over the child if you're not paying for it? Like,
Yeah.
I also understand as well. So we don't have all the details for that. So I'm not going to go too much into that because.
Also, OP didn't give any age on the post, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. Go meet the kid. I think that's the least that you owe him if he wants to do that. Yeah, it's not like you haven't been invested in the life. You haven't paid to anything by the sounds of it. So if he wants to, meet up with you, potentially has an axe to grind, then I think that is what it is. I think you're not helping yourself if you don't.
Yeah. I'm also in this train of thought with OP in this situation because originally OP and the mother hadn't agreed, like they agreed upon like, hey, they're gonna give the kid up for adoption, right? Like I feel like they went to that mutual agreement that they're gonna do that because I'll probably be better off for the kid. But then she kind of switched the dynamic out of nowhere too. So I could see where OP probably was stuck on that decision. And like, and again, he kind of cleared it up in end too, saying that, well, I don't want to ruin that dynamic. But then again, if I was in their shoes, it is a complicated one. So it's really hard to say, this is what I would do. If it's my kid, I'd probably want to get to know them in some capacity,
Yeah, or at least support in some regard. You know what I mean? I think the excuse of being like, I didn't want to mess it up is an easy one to say. I don't want to get involved.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to the update for this one. So we met at 3 p.m. Eastern yesterday at a sit-down chain restaurant. When I walked in at 2:45 p.m., I was standing at the front waiting to speak with the hostess when I saw my ex walking up to me. We spoke briefly, and I was informed that my son was sitting at a table close. I was beyond nervous. We walked over the table together. It was oriented thus that his back was towards the door. I let his mother lead, and when she said in her typical calm and gentle voice, "Hey child, this is OP." We exchanged smiles, and I sat down across from him. As expected, the tension and nerves were palpable. All parties involved were very much wired for sound. We exchanged pleasantries, similar to what anyone would do when meeting someone new for the first time. "Pleasure to meet you. I have heard many good things about you. How you been?" The "how have you been" question sparked a response that I was not necessarily expecting, but probably should have given that this gentleman across from me shares my DNA, and therefore I should have known he would also carry my dry/sarcastic sense of humor. Like recently?
I don't know if dry humor is a DNA trait you just inherently get. I think that's learned.
Like recently or over the past 16 years was the response. All I could really do was smile broadly and answer with whichever you would like to share, or both if that works for you. We shared a meal, spoke for about 2.5 hours at the restaurant, and took some first steps to catch up. I learned about his love of books, movies, and music, his deeply rooted love for video games, mythology, and folklore. He assuredly had questions about me and my life over the past 16 years, but he was exceptionally kind and gentle in his questioning. I never felt like his intent was to attack, only to probe and to quell his curiosity about where he came from. Near the end of the meal, there was a pause in conversation, and I felt it would appropriately to be very simply and frankly say, "Hey, thanks for reaching out," which was met with very genuine smile thank you for reaching out, which was met with a very genuine smile and, of course, as a response. We collectively decided to leave the restaurant and walk around a shopping center that was close by. We had a very casual conversation, like that of a couple of old friends catching up after an extended absence in each other's lives. The sense of calm and relief that progressively washed over me as we had this conversation was unbelievable. As the meeting came to a conclusion, both my ex and I reinforced that it is greatly the decision of my son if he would like to continue to foster a relationship, and that both of us would support, respect, and honor whatever decision that was made. After a moment of reflection, "I think that I would really like that," was uttered. It is not lost on me that there's a lot of work to be done, and that is going to take a long time to do all that work. I'm ready for it. I'm honestly willing to do what I need to in order to make this right. I know that he has a lot to unpack, my ex has a lot to unpack, and I have a lot to unpack from his past week. I'm simply happy and content with the thought of that things are moving in a healthy direction. We took a picture together before we left. I have it on my phone right now, and I'm not about to post this for, this word, anonymity purposes of my child. But one thing that really stands out to me in the picture is that we have the same damn smile. The world works in such strange ways, but I'm a firm believer that things will unfold as they are intended to. And this is another step in my walk of life, come what may, and I'm here to accept it and work my ass off to cross any hurdles that may show. Thank you all again.
Well, okay. Good ending. And they did it probably the healthiest way was being like, if you would like to continue this, you can, no pressure either way. And I hope OP follows through on his commitment to, not be a father, because the kid already has a father.
He already has one.
Has had one for 16 years. But like to be, maybe in the future a secondary parental figure or something like that, like someone who this kid can, go to for support or like end up trusting and stuff like that. Like I said, the beginning part of the story complicated and doesn't paint OP in a great light, but it doesn't sound like the kid harbors any resentment. Doesn't sound like the ex harbors any resentment. So, I mean, this is probably about as good of an ending as we could have received.
Yeah. Emily, they didn't break down how contact dwindled. The only context that we got was when the mother moved away, they were about like 16-ish hours away from each other, but there was no communication when they ended up living about 45 minutes from each other, about like, for the past 12 years. So we don't know where the disconnect is. I don't know whose party's to blame, whose side's communicating, or who should communicate who, but I mean, kind of like what we were saying here already, like, I think the best situation happened for the kid. Obviously, in the beginning of the story, they were OP and like the ex was already in the middle of breaking up already. So they weren't going to have a relationship until they found out that they were, that they were pregnant together. And, the kid luckily ended up in the perfect situation for that. And it seemed like the kid really grew up mature, grew up in a loving household, because he didn't come in with resentment, no hate. He just wanted to know, like, who his biological father was. And luckily OP was, acknowledges that he has a lot of work to do, that he has a lot of like shortcomings that he had as, it's really hard to call him a father, but like a sperm donor at this point.
Almost, honestly,
yeah. And it's good that he is at least willing to take that step to, like what Josh was saying, not be a parent, but basically be like, another sort of adult figure for that kid's life.
Yeah, exactly. And then I would also, Dustin said it in chat, said get therapy ? It's like, maybe offer therapy to the kid if he doesn't already go. Because that might be a good outlet for him to talk to a professional as well. Because this could be something that's, not necessarily traumatic, but it's just like something he's probably coping with and learning to, also understand and unpack himself. So yeah, I think that's that might be a good idea as well. Cool. Good one, John.
You're up, buddy.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide which one I want to go out on. Do we want an r/wedding shaming?
Let's shame people.
Okay, we'll end with this one that's insane, but this one's also crazy. So this one's by Springfew224. Title is My Cousin Faked Her Own Wedding to Get Money and Gifts.
What in the scam artist bullshit is this, bro? Don't it cost money to have a wedding? So are you really profiting off that bitch? Unless there was never really something planned. It's just to get money.
I was going to say, because you could do like the shower or whatever. Yeah.
I go, that's kind of genius, bro. How could we do that to get more like patrons? Promise like Sean leaks, you know what I'm saying? And then just like never. Yeah.
No, we could actually do that.
Oh yeah. We'll never do this, but.
All right. So yes, you read the title correctly. This happened almost 20 years ago and is still talked about amongst my family. My cousin declared to all of us that she met this great man. 6 months or so later, they were expected to be married. Now, my cousin had lucked out because my mom and aunt agreed to prepare all the food. The wedding, quote unquote, venue was at my uncle's house, not her dad. He has a huge amount of land. Her uncle's, so a different uncle. Both their uncles, I guess is what it is. He has a huge amount of land, so the ceremony was set up outside with chairs, and there was tents put up for the reception and the food. My mom's side of the family is big. We have people all over the country and some even overseas, so we had over 100 people who agreed to travel far and yonder, rent cars, and get hotels in order to attend this wedding. The morning of, my cousin, the bride, was acting so sketchy. She was so reluctant to get ready. She kept taking off her gown and putting on casual clothing. We were all so confused, we thought she had cold feet. Meanwhile, my mom and aunts were all sweltering in the kitchen preparing all the food for the people. Someone noticed she kept making trips to her car and would come back to the house. But we were all so busy setting up everything that we didn't focus on it too hard. What made matters worse, the groom was nowhere to be found. People kept telling her to call him, and she quote-unquote did, and apparently it kept going straight to voicemail. Guests are arriving, preparations are being made, and the groom isn't here for his wedding.
The groom doesn't exist.
We are questioning her and asking her what the hell is going on. And she says he had a meeting yesterday in New York, but he was supposed to come back last night and didn't, making it seem like he stood her up. Instantly, which who has a meeting before their
Come on
wedding?
now.
Day before? Come on. She went outside for a moment. My aunt took her phone and looked up her call history, and she never called him once. We all started screaming, wondering what the hell she's trying to pull here. My aunt calls him, and he picks up.
I'm listening to you, by the way. I'm just going to shush him real quick. I can hear you.
Okay, cool. My aunt calls him, and he picks up. She asks him where he is, and he says, "I'm in New York for business." She's questioning him. How are you on business the day of your wedding? I'm sure none of you are surprised by the fact that he had no idea there was a wedding, let alone a wedding he was supposed to be getting married at. He was in shock and couldn't believe my cousin did all of this, but he said he never proposed to her and planned to be away this weekend, and she knew that.
So he did exist, and what is going on here?
Yeah, so they are dating, but he never proposed.
Yeah, I heard everything, by the way.
Yeah. We all go outside to confront her, and she's gone in the wind. Those trips to her car she was taking, we find out later from her son that she was taking gifts and money off the table as they arrived and stowed them in her car. My uncle said when she came outside, she tried to grab more, but he stopped her from grabbing them so soon because it looked tacky, not having any idea that that was the whole point for this entire charade. Charade. He made a joke later that night. Well, guess this was just another family reunion. Moments after that, people were just going back and forth about all the money they spent. My mom spent over $700 on groceries for the wedding, $300 renting a car, and money for a hotel. My dress was, I don't even remember how much, from David's bridal. I was her flower girl who never got to do her job. Sad face emoji. Whenever I share this story with people, they find it insane. I absolutely agree, but looking back on it, it kind of makes me chuckle at how ridiculous it is. She's still very much the black sheep of the family. Unfortunately, this is not the worst thing she's done at our expense.
What?
To which a commenter said, after that final line, you've got to tell us what was the worst thing. And OP responded.
They hit us with a bow. Wait, there's more?
To which OP responded, it's honestly really bad.
Bitch, what are you? Oh my!
No, they say more.
Asshole,
they say more. They say more.
I'm about to say.
She's a gambler, so she used to live at the casinos and uses up all whatever money she could scrounge around and bet in there. I can't tell you the last time I saw her. We don't invite her to family gatherings or outings because we religiously play bingo for damn near every holiday. She'll cheat, take money you win, and she's taken money from people's purses. Some of the worst offenses, to name some, is she's taken scholarship money for college from her son and used it for her own benefit, and he never ended up going to college. She also stole Social Security checks from my aunt with dementia, who was in her care and has gotten involved with grimy people just to make money. This person sucks ass. Holy shit.
horrible person.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is that r/wedding shaming, even though it never ended up being a wedding, actually. Crazy.
First of all, she's stupid as fuck. All right. Like, look, I think someone in the comments said this too. A GoFundMe probably would have been easier.
It would have been.
Because look at all this planning, all this scheming, all of that. It takes money to arrange all that shit.
Yeah.
You're cutting off from your net profits, girl. Like, what are you doing?
And Jay says, what about Tyler's ghost? This is very similar to that, but I don't know if that's worse than this one.
Well, I mean,
because that was when they made up a deceased brother.
Yeah, but the boyfriend is actually real, just not aware of this situation.
Yeah, I think conning your entire family into giving you money for your wedding, that's probably worse, I think.
I think the boyfriend needs to break up with her.
Oh, yeah.
I hope they did.
Yeah, I imagine when he found out about all this, he probably did. But it's hard. They don't say, so it's crazy.
God. Hey, some people shouldn't just be around. Like, to be honest, because look, financial elder abuse, that's fucked up. Taking money from your kid's scholarship fund, that's fucked up. What kind of a person are you to be able to do that type of thing?
Well, that it's just so disgusting. Like, I couldn't imagine doing that to my friends and family. Like, those are the people that come to your wedding because they love and support you. Give you money or gifts or whatever because they love and support you, and you just throw it back in their face. Crazy.
Man. Hey, shout out to the uncle though who spun it positively. Because me, scorched earth. I would have found that car, tracked that car, mess up all the tires, put freaking sugar on their gas tank, fucking, take out all the freaking wires and shit so it can't run. All the stupid shit.
Yeah. No, I mean, good on him for stopping her from taking more gifts, and then
for real.
Just also trying to spin it as positive. I guess they all at least got food. So
true.
Yeah, and then got to see.
After her mom spent $700 laboring for the whole day too. Jesus.
Yeah, I'd feel bad, but anyway, crazy story.
My goodness. I still got one more, or what? Do You got another one, or you're done?
I got another one. Yeah, if you want me to go.
What's chat think? Of course, you're gonna say yes.
I was gonna say, what do you expect them to say? No, actually, just stop the live stream. We're done.
Yeah, just end it. What are we gonna do? What should we do? Both.
Wait, do you have another one, John?
I do have another one.
Yeah, we can do both. Why not?
We'll do both. All right.
My last one is unhinged as well. So.
All right. Well, mine's a whole. Okay. Mine's kind of. You have a heart out at 2?
No, I'm good to go.
Okay.
Mine's also a best of Redditor update, so it'll be a little longer, but.
All right, cool. Oh, someone's asking me what my shirt is. It's a bootleg champion shirt, but it says Chicharron.
You do. You always have the most wild ass shirts, John. I do love them.
Because I'm a big back and I love Chicharron. All right. So this one is posted by Eyes and Pies from r/True Off My Chest. The title is, my dad found his biological parents and it turns out they've been searching for him for 56 years.
56. Holy shit. I mean, they're not great at looking, I guess. No, I'm kidding.
Damn.
He's in their household. We can't find him anywhere.
Fred, I'm not your little chicharron, all right? You better chill the fuck down. You're lucky my wife's on a plane right now. She would have got your ass.
What does chicharron mean?
Chicharron is pork rinds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, at least for Tagalog. I don't know what it is like for others.
Yeah, fried pork belly or pork rinds.
Oh, yeah. All right. Story goes as this. As you would expect from the title, my dad, 56 male, was adopted at birth. He was raised in Eastern Canada and never really searched for his birth parents. The people who raised him are his parents to him, and he loves them very much. They have always been amazing grandparents to my sister, 19 female, and I, 22 male. All he had from his birth parents was a letter which told him he was born out of love, but they could not support him when he was born. I mean, at least the parents made the right decision, like
Born out of love.
Good. So born, they did the deed, but sometimes it happens, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
So when my sister decided to get him a genetic test for Christmas, it was purely with the intention to find out what ethnicity we all are, and the thought of finding his birth parents didn't even cross our minds. Eventually, when we got his results, we were surprised to find the names of two people with the perfect genetic matches to my dad. He had the option to reach out to he had the option to reach out to them, so he wrote them each an email and just waited for their responses. Almost immediately, his biological dad, who I'll call Jim, responded. He said how excited and happy he was to have found my dad and how he was looking for him for so long. My dad, who is usually an emotionally reserved man, was curled up on the couch grinning as he was texting Jim for the first time. I was still in shock from the news, but was so happy to see my dad even happier than when I graduated uni. Soon thereafter, he also received a message from his biological mom, Debbie. By talking to them both, my dad learned the story of his birth, and I think that is absolutely wild. Debbie is a daughter of an Australian mining engineer, and they all moved to Canada for his work when she was in high school. Later on, they moved to the Midwest where she met Jim at the age of 17. They were high school sweethearts and were thinking of marriage after they graduated. But then, Debbie got pregnant. This, being in the 60s, this was a huge deal. Her dad was furious and sent her back to Canada to give birth and arrange a private adoption as he knew of a couple who were trying to have a kid, which is OP's grandparents. Once she gave birth, she was able to let Jim know that she was being sent back to Australia. They never saw each other again for the next 40 years. Jim apparently was only able to move on once he received a letter over 5 years later from Debbie, saying that she got married. Eventually, he got married too, and they moved to the West Coast. But his wife got into a terrible car crash and lost the use of both legs and one arm, so they were never able to have kids. Debbie had 3 daughters in Australia, the oldest of which is 7 years younger than my dad. They saw each other for the first time around 12 years ago as they reconnected on Facebook, and Debbie happened to be taking a trip to the West Coast of America. Both Jim and Debbie had always wanted to keep my dad, and so they tried for decades to find him. But my province apparently is one of the hardest places in the world to find adoption information, especially since my dad only received his birth certificate at his baptism, so their names were not on it. Jim had essentially given up trying to find my dad using genetic tests. Jim had essentially given up trying to find my dad until genetic tests became popular. He asked Debbie to take every single one, and he did the same. About 5 years ago, in the hopes that one day my dad would take one. That's crazy, though.
Yeah, this is a way sadder story than I thought it was going to be. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy. That, yeah, like the great grandfather of OP.
Yeah, they basically just like no
grandfather of OP.
Yeah,
biological anyway. Yeah, forced them to give up their child and sent his daughter to Australia. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
And it's crazy, like, even after like so many years, like they at least both tried together,
Yeah.
like even though they kind of had different phases of lives, and it's a sad situation. When he received my dad's message, he immediately wrote to Debbie, "I found him." Since then, we have had several calls with Jim and his wife, and they are absolutely lovely. We are their only family since they don't have kids, and I couldn't be happier. At the end of the month, we'll be flying to the West Coast to meet them. It has been harder to talk to Debbie as Australia is so many hours ahead of us, but she is also kind and an absolute joy to talk to. I haven't met my 3 new aunts yet, but apparently one lives in London. It's crazy to think that I might have been within a few kilometers of her the few times I've visited. I also have 5 new younger cousins. A couple of them are huge fans of Japanese culture, so they're ecstatic to hear that they have half Japanese cousins. My mom is Japanese Canadian, so my sister and I are both half. We hope to visit them one day in Australia, but we might all meet up in Japan next year. I don't know how to end this. I'm still processing everything. It's absolutely incredible to have my family grow so much, but also a little overwhelming. I'm so happy for my dad, for Jim, and for Debbie, and I'm so excited to get to know them better. I hope I get to meet my new cousins soon too. I feel so incredibly lucky that this happened, seemingly against all odds. My dad was initially raised Francophone?
Francophone, yeah.
What is that?
It's like Quebec.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, what kind of cell phone is that? I was like, you get 5G Francophone? Like, you talk to Babo phone? What you doing here?
Yeah,
So it's
it's
American.
French. Yeah, French Canadian,
Oh,
basically.
Jesus. Got me fucking. Good thing you're here, brother, because I was like, what the fuck is a Francophone? It's like, Steve, you hear this shit? So it's a miracle that they even speak the same language. Anyways, thank you so much for taking the time to read through this, and my apologies for how long this post ended up being. I might post an update after I meet Jim and his wife. I hope you all have a wonderful day.
I still can't get over the microphone thing.
You got me. Who the fuck is Frank? I'm like, what's going on here?
Well, Frank is the region in like in like France, basically. That's why it's called France. Comes from.
Oh, Fran. There. Oh, I get it now.
Oh God. I mean, yeah, lovely ending to that story where they finally found each other. And now your dad. I think it would be interesting, like being that age and then like meeting your bio parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you've lived a whole life, kids of your own that are adults, and it's just like it would give you a different perspective than like meeting your bio parent at like 16, like the last story.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it sounds like this could be a beautiful friendship, I guess you'd call it now, because it's like they're not your parents really anymore. They're, you're in the same like part in life almost at this point. So,
basically, yeah.
It's nice, and I hope you guys get to have tons of visits with them.
You ready for the update for this one?
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm fucking Francophone. Every week, this podcast questions my goddamn stupidity, bro. Like, oh my God. All right. So we just got back from visiting Jim and his wife, who I'll call Mary, on the West Coast, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. We spent a week in their city and got to experience so much with them. Our first time meeting them in person was very emotional and felt very surreal. We spent the whole day looking through my dad's and our old photos, basically catching Jim up on everything that he has missed over the past 56 years. We also got to see so many of his and Mary's old photos too, which was very cool. We went to the park near their house, and on the walk, I heard Jim whisper, "My son," with a massive smile across his face. Throughout the week, we explored the city and saw so many cool sights and tried so much delicious food. Mary knows her city so well, and it was great to see her favorite spots all around the city, from food carts to gardens to museums. We all went to an incredible Japanese-American museum, and Jim and Mary absolutely loved it. They were very keen to learn about the internment during World War II and said that they knew a bit about it before, but now it feels so personal. We went on 2 hikes with Jim. Mary wasn't able to come because she is in a wheelchair, and it is so cool to have such an active and outdoorsy grandfather who's able to go on such long hikes. He taught us some foraging tips and told us stories from when he used to camp for years on end. Both he and Mary are very spiritual, so he also told us great stories from meditation retreats they've done. He's even tried psychedelics, so he's definitely the cool grandpa. Motherfucker with the 60 was doing some shit, bro.
He was enjoying the 70s.
Hell yeah. He was in Woodstock. I won't go into precise details of places we went, but it was great exploring such a cool part of the world with amazing people. We were all very sad when the trip was over and we had to leave. I've gained 2 new grandparents on the West Coast, and I couldn't be happier. And they said that they've gained 2 grandchildren. I'm so glad that they see us as such, and Mary told me her greatest regret in life was not being able to have children and grandchildren, but now she does. This has been such a transformative time in our life, and I think it's incredible just how many people are so much happier now because my sister just happened to get my dad a DNA test. This is just the beginning of our relationship with our new grandparents, and I'm so excited. Now we have to figure out a way to go to Australia to meet Debbie. Whenever that happens, maybe I'll make another update. Until then, I hope you all have a lovely day, and thank you so much for taking the time to read our story. I did not see another update unless I missed it.
This feels like an ad for a DNA test. Don't take them.
I mean, I haven't. I deleted all my shit. Well, I mean, this is one of those things too that like technology and like advances to things like this is beautiful when it's used correctly. However,
Yeah, but under the,
the people
capitalistic society, it's like
under our society, they typically use it for the wrong reasons, and the
Yeah.
wrong people gain a lot from it, which is unfortunate.
Yes, and they will
Oh.
sell your shit for money when they
Yeah.
need it.
1 second. Let me just, Juliet just landed.
No worries. I'm going to give Beth a shout out. Sent $10. Says going to miss the next few lives because I'll be in Mexico. Here's my contribution to the Free Sean Fund. Thank you, Beth, and I hope you enjoy your time in Mexico.
Oh, where are you going to Mexico, Beth? Let us know.
Don't take a second.
Oh,
but yeah, like Cancun. There you go. My parents went there once.
Ooh.
They loved it. So I hope you have a good time.
I don't know if you turn up, Beth, but like when they tell you to sit down and start whistling in your ear, doing tequila shots, and they spin you around, don't do it. It'll make you throw up.
All right. Last one here, John.
Let's do it, brother.
Okay. So this one's posted by Public Lower Score Control 3563. I'll give the trigger warning first, just in case. Trigger warning for homophobia and disgusting personal hygiene.
Okay.
So if that's something you don't want to listen to, you can skip out here, but just giving you a heads up. Title for this one is, Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend I'll break up with him if he doesn't start wiping his butt?
Oh, break up with that musty skid mark looking mother. Oh, no. That shit stinks and you can smell it.
That guy definitely doesn't wipe. Or doesn't wash his hands is what I meant. But yeah, he doesn't wipe. Man, if we had a bidet sponsorship, this would be the perfect.
Please. We need to reach out to our ad person.
Yeah, what the hell?
Please?
Come on. All right. So 26 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 27 male, for almost a year. We moved in together 3 months ago, and for the most part, things have been fine. He's funny, smart, and we have good chemistry. And we share similar goals for the future. That being said, there's been a problem. A really gross, ridiculous problem. When we first moved in, I noticed that he never had toilet paper rolls in his bathroom. And in brackets, we have 2 separate bathrooms set up, and tend to use the separate one most of the time. So he doesn't have toilet paper in his bathroom. I figured maybe he used wipes or something else, but then I started noticing smells, like awful smells. Sometimes his laundry would stink in very specific ways. I thought it was maybe just bad hygiene in general, so I brought it up. He got really defensive and basically told me to drop it. Eventually, after too many suspiciously stained boxers and just a level of funk no grown man should be walking around with, I asked him point blank, "Do you wipe after you poop?" He shrugged and said, quote, "Nah, wiping is kind of gay. Why would I touch my own ass?" End quote.
What?
Which, if that is not the dumbest response to that question. I thought he was joking. I laughed, and he didn't. Turns out he legitimately believes that wiping makes you gay, and that real men just let it fall out and go about their day. I told him not only is that stupid, but also incredibly unhygienic, and honestly, it's making me physically sick to be near him sometimes. He said I was being judgmental and that I should accept him for who he is. I told him I draw the line at poop. I said if he didn't start wiping and take basic hygiene seriously, I'd have to reconsider the relationship. He's now sulking and accusing me of being shallow, saying I'm prioritizing societal expectations over true love. He even texted me a link to a men's rights subreddit about how wiping is emasculating. God damn, that's got to be on the worst subreddit I've ever heard.
What are you? How is that?
Now I'm wondering, am I the asshole for threatening to break up with my boyfriend over something as small, quote unquote, as wiping?
That is not small. So you're telling me that when this kid was growing up and he got his ass wiped as a kid, is he gay? Did he turn out gay? Does he think he is? No, motherfucker, it's basic hygiene. Your parents wiped your ass when you're a little baby, and it's only the right thing to do is wipe your ass because your fucking ass stinks, brother. What are you doing with your life? Not only are you I'm gonna go off on this motherfucker real quick. Not only are you subjecting people and not only subjecting your household for the funk that you fucking have, but you also subject the public. Because right now, when you're sitting outside, let's say you're using public spaces, you're sitting on a bus, you're sitting at a seat, a food court or some movie theater, anywhere. You're telling me your little dingleberries are out here just fucking hanging around foraging out of your ass? Are you kidding me right now, my guy? You are spreading germs. And chances are you don't even wash your hands after doing all that shit. You ain't got no toilet paper now. What is this, fucking COVID 2020 where there's nothing in stock? Bitch, wipe your ass.
I mean, I don't know if I have much more to say. It's crazy to be like, nah, I'm worried if I literally touch my butt to wipe my ass, I'll turn gay. Brother, maybe you got a lot of shit to unpack. I don't know, but...
Oh, we definitely got a lot of shit to unpack because I bet you that shit is crusty.
Well, yes, I meant emotionally, but but yes, down there for sure. Yeah, it's so gross, and I would not want to touch like my partner if I knew that was the case. And then for him to double down, send you a link to what I gotta assume is a alpha male Andrew Tate kind of subreddit, that would be my cue to get out of there. That's not someone you're gonna want to be in a long-term relationship with. Holy fuck.
Look, there's literally not sponsored, but there's literally a company called Dude Wipes to wipe your ass with.
Or a bidet. Yeah. I don't know. There's an update.
Oh. Okay.
So, this is an update. I don't know how many days later, but it's this month. It was a couple of days ago.
Or last month. A bidet later. Sorry. That's what he needs to do.
A bidet later. Yes, nasty. That's what it was. They say, hey, I wanted to give a small update because, well, I broke up with them.
Thank God.
And it was somehow even messier than I expected. No pun intended. Thought you'd appreciate that.
I love it.
Yeah. I sat him down and told him I just couldn't do this anymore. I explained everything calmly and that it just wasn't about the wiping, but about respect for me, himself, and for the space we shared. That I was exhausted from living in constant secondhand filth. That I genuinely couldn't picture a future with someone who refused to do the most basic thing to stay clean. He stared at me in silence for a few seconds and then laughed, like this weird fake laugh. Then he got super defensive and said, wow, so I guess you never actually cared about me. This is what ends us? Over wiping? Yeah, that's enough reason. I told him that it just wasn't that. It was the fact that I asked him repeatedly to do something extremely reasonable, and he chose not to, over and over. He folded his arms and said, I'm not changing who I am just to make you comfortable. I said, I'm not asking you to change your personality. I'm just asking you to not smell like shit. That's when it got dramatic. He stood up, threw his keys on the couch and said, you're just like everyone else, judgmental and shallow. Then he packed a duffel bag like he was storming out of a movie, grabbing random stuff like a pair of mismatched socks, 2 deodorants, in brackets the irony, and a frozen burrito from the freezer. You are dating a man-child, Noki. How did it take you this long?
You know, those burritos are going to be cause for non-wiping later, too.
Oh, God. So gross. Before he left, he looked at me and said, you'll regret this. You'll never find another guy like me. And I just stared at him and said, that's kind of the point. He slammed the door so hard, a picture fell off the wall. He's texted me a few times since then, mostly passive-aggressive stuff like, hope your next guy wipes and lies to you about it. And real men don't fold for toilet paper. I haven't responded. Since he left, I've deep cleaned the apartment, burned a candle, and done 5 loads of laundry. I cannot tell you how amazing it feels to sit on a couch and not wonder if it's been in contact with poop. Anyway, thank you all for the push I needed. Again, no pun intended, maybe? You were right.
Yeah.
I don't need to fix someone who thinks basic hygiene is optional. I need someone who's already a damn adult. The end.
I think even children have the basic concept of fucking cleaning. I mean, kids are filthy, but when they have doo-doo, they want their ass wiped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Johnny says, wipe him out of your life.
they literally cry when their diaper's full, and they were like, I don't want. Oh, his rashes must be crazy, bro.
I can't even imagine. That's so gross.
How does wiping your booty hole
Well,
make things get? You know what? I feel like a lot of these dudes in this subreddit probably got their booty tickled one time. There's like, I am enjoying this way too much.
which is fine. Just like accept that. It's
The
okay.
gooch is a beautiful place to be tickled if that's your fancy.
If
You
that's
know what
your
I'm
thing,
saying?
No one cares.
But clean that ass, boy.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
First burst on energy says awfully dramatic for someone so worried about being seen as quote gay. It's like, brother, like, I don't know why you're so worked up about it. Just you need so much therapy. I can't imagine being that concerned about, not being observed as being gay. Who cares?
I ain't gonna lie. If I was a therapist in that situation, I'm like, come on, sit down on the couch, and I get a whiff of that booty. I don't know. I might
I'm
say
out.
some weird shit. I'm out.
Burning
I'm
that
out.
couch cushion.
No, for real. My God, how is basic hygiene all of a sudden gay now? What the what is going on with these alpha males?
Quote,
Right, but there
unquote,
can
yeah.
only be one alpha, you dumb bitches. The rest of y'all are betas.
They're so dumb. Anyway, that was my last crazy story of the day. Hope you enjoyed
What a
it.
shit show.
Yeah, definitely a shit show. But yeah, that is it for our Wednesday live stream, WikiManiacs. Thank you for sticking around, hanging out with us. We appreciate it.
Don't make sure it doesn't stick in your jaws, you dirty bitch.
Make sure to wipe. Emily says, God put you a G-spot there for a reason, fellas. Laugh my ass
Hey.
off. I mean,
Hey, sometimes when like I overshoot the bidet a little bit, you gotta, ooh,
ooh.
you gotta, do it again, and then you gotta like scoot up. Okay.
it's warm.
Yeah, I sound like a sim over here.
Oh man, but yes, and don't put up with man children.
Please
you can do
don't.
better.
Raise the bar, and you should offer them bars of soap. Well, actually, no,
A lot
Don't
of
do
bars of soap.
and have them accidentally drop it because they need it to clean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I gotcha. All right. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. We got, I think it's still the same merch as last month. Gaycation merch.
Sean said he'll get it done over the weekend, so you have
Couple more days.
a couple more days.
Yeah.
Like 5 days, maybe. Yeah, about 5 days.
Something like that. But we raised over $800 for the Trevor Project this month. So thank you everyone who bought merch. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
That'll be donated soon. And then we will pick a new charity for this month. We're not sure what it is yet, but we will figure that out with the patrons. Or Sean will anyway, I hope. But yes, if you like what we do, please click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends about us.
Yes.
We will be back tomorrow for Patreon and YouTube members because they get everything a day early and ad free. So if you would like that as well, don't forget to click join on the YouTube channel. It should be just down below here somewhere. If not, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/Cultivate Podcast Network and join there. You can get, like I said, day early ad-free episodes as well as bonus content. We do bonus stories every episode that you don't hear on the public feed. So check that out. But with that, John, is there anything you'd like to say before we close out?
Next week, if you are a $10 patron, we will be doing another live stream. It's going to be us three with Sean included. And we haven't confirmed yet. I don't know if we're going to do like a pre-gaming stream beforehand.
I think we'll probably try, yeah.
Yeah. So we usually go on the same time around 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern. We'll probably do it a little earlier for that 1 hour preview of the game stream, and then we'll jump into our usual live stream for our $10 patrons. So all the links are going to be in the show notes. Join because it's a lot of content. You also get a Brownies episode that Sean and I host every like 3 episodes of those, like every on Tuesdays. Yeah. And then you also have, access to all the other stuff as well.
And Maber Moo says you all got to play Peak, which is what I've been telling the boys.
I got it on my cart. Steam sale is on, and your boy just spent way too much money. Putting games I'll probably never play in my life.
Fred sends $2 and says, let's go another Sean roast next week. And
no, Fred. No.
Yeah, roast John next week.
Try me.
Yeah.
I'll fucking find you.
And then Midscore says $10 tier is the best tier. Correct, Midscore. We appreciate you.
Of course, the GOAT, baby.
GOAT. All right, with that, we'll close out the episode. Thank you very much. And this will be live on audio and video for everyone in a few hours. I just got to quickly edit it, and then I'll put it up. But we appreciate your patience. Bye.
Bye, guys.
In therapy. I'm hungry. In therapy.